Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get right into this video. So in this video, we're going to be covering basically some thoughts on Tesla's delivery numbers and what I think, their plan is for the future, where I think the company is going overall, and some of my price targets in the future of where I think this company is going. This is interesting. This is not going to be a super long video, but we're going to cover a lot of information here pretty quickly. So basically Tesla, I believe it was the first of the second reported their deliveries. And basically they missed deliveries by, I want to say like 500 or 700 cars, something along those lines. And it's kind of crazy because in this past year, we've seen companies absolutely crush earnings, and companies just basically get decimated. Like I believe Amazon beat earnings by like $5 EPS, and their stock got decimated after the last earnings. Like they went down like 10-15%, something crazy. So it's interesting to see Tesla miss earnings and the stock price not really. I mean, I think it went up like 10%, 15%. Yeah, about 10%. So it's interesting to see companies like Amazon get hurt. However, Tesla has benefited from missing earnings. So this year has been a weird year. This is pretty much the only stock in the stock market that doesn't act like a normal stock. I feel like every single time something happens with Tesla, nothing really happens to the price. I mean, it just kind of keeps going up. I do currently own a small position in Tesla right now. Not planning on adding too much to it because we're going to talk about some other options that I think are equally as good, but this isn't a bag on Tesla video. This is just saying that at this price, I wouldn't buy. Now, if it drops, $80 or $100, absolutely, I would definitely think about buying that. But at its current price, I'm holding a little bit, just to say I'm holding it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But let's talk about these delivery numbers. So these delivery numbers were pretty interesting. Okay, basically they had 180,000 cars delivered in quarter four. A lot of analysts and personally myself and a bunch of bulls were putting them closer to like 200,000 deliveries. They missed that, but they still had 180,000. Not bad. They missed their total goal for the year by 500 vehicles. Once again, not terrible. But yeah, they managed to pull out a pretty decent year for Tesla. Pretty much a historic year for Tesla in general. And yeah, they've been doing fairly well. Let me go ahead and dive deeper into this. So basically, where a lot of their sales come, and I'll talk about that here in a second, a little bit more in depth. But the Model 3 was where most of the sales were coming from. Okay, that's where most of the deliveries were coming from, and that's where most of the production was. I do expect them to ramp some of their other factories for the Model 3 here and continue trying to push it harder and harder. But I mean, they've been doing really, really well. I mean, you can't knock Tesla. Tesla, most analysts, I want to say, if you look at like just the general consensus was an expectation between 140,000 and 190,000 vehicles. I was more on the bullish side. As I said, I thought Tesla was going to do a little bit better than 180. I thought they might even hit 200,000 because I'm not sure if you guys remember, but a while ago they actually shut down their factory. I believe it was in Texas, and basically they said it was for. I don't believe they said, but a lot of us were thinking it was for re-dyeing. Basically just revamping the factory itself so it could produce more Model 3s. But yeah, it is very interesting that they missed earnings and the price still went up. So that is interesting for sure. The full year for 2020, the expectation was basically they were expected to produce somewhere around like 400,000 by most analysts. They produced 500,000. So awesome year for Tesla. Um, and they hit their first 500,000 vehicles in a year. I mean, that's impressive. Um, Now let's note, other car companies are still producing a lot more vehicles, but when you look in depth into Tesla, it's not just about the vehicles. It's about the future of automated driving and so many other things. There's softwares that they could sell to companies where they could get their own self-driving. They could do a ton of different stuff because they kind of own that stuff. When you talk about Tesla and the way it's kind of designed, they are doing everything in-house. And what that leaves Tesla the opportunity to do is to monetize multiple streams of income from the company, meaning it's not going to be just vehicles that bring the company an income, a revenue, right? It could be definitely, several different avenues, which I'm basically hoping that they are the leader in autonomous taxis. That takes their net worth of Tesla like up by like 2 times, 3 times, just because that's a huge category, and I believe it's going to continue to be a huge category. But yeah, I mean they had let's look at this on the production side. Tesla achieved 24% increase quarter over quarter. I mean, that's awesome. 71% year over year on the delivery side, and Tesla achieved a 30% increase quarter over quarter for 61% increase year over year. Okay, so I mean they did pretty well. I'm impressed. However, I did, as I said, I'm still a little let down because I thought they were going to do a little better than that. And if they did miss earnings or miss deliveries, I expected them actually to come down, and they didn't. They did the exact opposite. As I said, Tesla just basically, no matter what, they've just gone up. But I do expect them in the next year to start really ramping their gigafactory in Shanghai. And basically, this leads us into a couple different opportunities that we're going to talk about here in just a second. But I believe that's where a lot of their sales and their growth is going to start happening in the next year. I believe that their growth is already happening. I wouldn't say it's going to cap out, right? And it's not going to cap out yet, but I believe that their growth, the way the curve is going to happen, it's going to be far more exponential in China than it is going to be in the US for now. Okay. I believe that you're going to see numbers in China by like 2022, 2023 surpass the USA numbers. And that's no knock on the US. I mean, they're still going to produce massive numbers in the US. I just believe that China is going to end up being more or less the big money grab. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this. So we knew that the deliveries in China were going to be a big factor in whether they were able to hit their numbers or not. Okay. Now, this is as of several weeks ago. We knew that Tesla was going to probably hit their numbers. Okay. They ended up doing an article here. And in this article, it basically says, in simple terms, that they delivered 21,000 vehicles. And this article was published December 8th. I believe it was December 8th, guys. Yeah, December 8th. Okay. Basically, it said that their Model 3 sales, production, deliveries were excellent. They were massive. And even though 21,000 doesn't seem like a large amount, which it really isn't compared to what they actually did. However, year over year and the amount of exposure that they're starting to get in China now, they're starting to really get a recognition over there. And that's what's really important. When it comes to a country like China, I believe whoever really starts scaling first will keep the market share the longest. Okay. Meaning if Tesla, grabs a ton of the market share first, Tesla's going to keep a lot of that market share for a long time. If a company like NIO keeps that market share first, or gets that market share first, they're going to keep that market share. Okay. Um, Now, here's where it gets interesting. Okay. Tesla, my expectations for Tesla are for it to reach about a $2 trillion company. Okay. In the next 5 to 7 years. Okay. That's my bullish. That's my bullish case scenario. Okay. My non-bullish is 1.2 trillion within about the same time frame, 5 to 7 years. Okay. Um, Now, when we're looking at a 10-year outlook, I mean, maybe they could get to like 2.5 or $3 trillion, but I do not think that they are going to be the biggest company in the world in the next 10 years. I don't believe that's possible. I still think Apple will probably be the biggest company. Well, it's going to be a toss up, in my opinion, between Apple and Amazon. Okay. It's going to be very close. And I believe Facebook will also probably be on the borderline the same size as Tesla. Um, but basically, in simple terms, I don't see Tesla tripling or quadrupling in the next 5 years. I see them probably doubling, maybe 2.5 times. I don't see them doing like a 5x or a 10x like some of these people see. I believe that this company is going to be a big deal. I just don't believe it's going to be as big as some of the people believe. And I mean, that's, it is what it is. I believe that they're going to have a lot of revenue. I believe they're going to have a lot of income coming in. I believe that they're going to do really well. I just don't believe that it's a a 5 trillion, $10 trillion company. Like I'm not, I want to look at this thing uh, very analytical, and I don't want my emotions involved with, uh, you know, trading or buying any type of stocks. You want to look at numbers, and based on the sheer numbers, based on basically they're kind of little exponential right now, guys. They're kind of going off. But they need to do that because a lot of their pricing, where the market is right now, where they're saying that they're going to go, a lot of that's priced in already. Okay, meaning if Tesla were to start missing earnings consistently, I do think that they'd fall. I do think they'd fall really heavy. So just keep an eye on that. I do have a small Tesla position, but I'm actually more bullish right now on NIO. And it's basically because NIO is a much smaller market cap. It has a lot more time to grow. And I do believe they have a lot more potential to grow. Okay. They already kind of have a foothold in China. All right. Their deliveries are in China. I mean, they're not Tesla size, but they're getting there. And I do believe that NIO has a good opportunity or good chance to own a lot of the market share in China. And don't underestimate China's buying power, because, as I said, whoever owns China is really going to have a really good foothold, not only in uh, the EV space, but kind of in the entire world for EVs, whoever wins China. And, you know, NIO's been around long enough that I don't believe it's some type of sham. I don't believe that they're just inflating the books just to kind of look good. They've been around for a long time, guys. And I believe that they'll continue to be around for a long time. I do want to say that probably within the next 8 months to a year, they're going to have their first couple profitable quarters. And when they start having some profitable quarters, I really think that you're going to see this company start to shoot. I don't believe you're going to see it shoot as hard as Tesla did, but I do believe that you're going to see some movement, some heavy movement from NIO. As I said, a lot of these companies are already pricing in some of the deliveries that they're making, and but EV space is going to be huge, guys. Don't underestimate it. And I think NIO is going to have a really good foothold in China. That's pretty much it, guys, and all I wanted to cover in this video. I'm going to start buying NIO, in my opinion, a little bit heavier. I might even throw possibly like $5,000 in NIO. I do believe NIO is probably going to do some big things long term. And I'm not going to make it one of my biggest positions. I'm probably going to make it, like a mid-sized position, like a 5 to 8%. But that's all up to you guys. Obviously when you're investing, use your own risk. Don't just listen to some guy on the internet. But yeah, that's my opinion on NIO and what I think is going to happen. I believe that NIO is going to grow faster than Tesla. And I do believe that NIO is probably going to own a pretty good market share in China. Maybe Tesla will own a little bit more, but I think NIO has a lot more upside at this point than Tesla does. NIO has a very good chance to 5x, 7x, 10x yet. I just can't say that about Tesla. Okay. Do I think Tesla's going to be huge? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be an absolute beast. However, I don't think that it has the room anymore to 5, 7x, in the next 5 years. I just don't think that's possible. However, with a company like NIO, I do think it's possible. So that's basically my thoughts on this entire thing. Great kudos to Elon Musk for Tesla hitting their, almost hitting their earnings. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it below? I want to know. If you did get some value on this, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And guys, until next time, see you.